Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jeff, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Falcon F7 from Falcon Motorsports. If you guys enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it, and consider subscribing for more content like this in the future. So, the Falcon F7 was first unveiled in 2009 in its prototype form, and Jeff Lemke, the CEO, says it's inspired by the Ferrari 288 GTO, Ford GT40, and even the likes of the Dodge Viper. The first production car was started in 2012, and they were intending to build a run of 10, but they believe there's a total of 7 built so far. One has been destroyed, but at least 6 remain. The car's at a starting MSRP of $225,000, although there were some higher options that we'll talk about later. And this particular car was actually purchased at the 2017 Barrett Jackson Scottsdale auctions for $148,500 with just 12,000 miles on it at the time. A red run ran through cars and bids recently and ended with a high bid of about $122,000, not meeting reserve. Now let's move on to the specs of the car. So the Falcon F7 features a lightweight monocoque chassis with body components made from a mix of aluminum, carbon fiber, and Kevlar, which help give the car a relative lightweight at 2,785 pounds. It also features a leather interior that features a variety of automotive-inspired things, even Pagani-like, some might say, and it features an iPad mini in-dash for GPS, music, and electronic management, along with air conditioning and even power windows and keyless ignition. The car sits on a set of 20-inch Forge-line wheels, which are made specifically for the Falcon, and they help hide the massive Brembo brakes. Now, the engine deck lid is pretty interesting here. We'll see when we open it. This rear end part is specifically reminiscent of the 288 Ferrari GTO, in my opinion. You can see the carbon intake manifolds there that will be opening up for the engine bay in a sec here. But it's a pretty good looking car from the rear end, all things considered. But one of the things I want to show you is, as the engine deck lid opens, it really looks like the Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren. You can see how it folds back and then up, and then that holds all of the goodies that we'll talk about here in a sec. So power actually comes from a standard Lingenfelter 7-liter LS7 V8, producing 620 horsepower and 585 pound-feet of torque, mated to a heavy-duty Ricardo 6-speed transaxle, which is actually the same company that made the Ford GT transaxles. The owner believes this transmission may actually be the exact same as the Ford GT, but don't quote me on that. There's actually an optional twin-turbocharged LS7 that produces 1,100 horsepower and steps up the price to a starting price at $300,000. Now, the performance specs are kind of varying, kind of hard to track down, but apparently the 0 to 60 for the base LS7 naturally aspirated is 3.3 to 3.6 seconds, although the website says 2.7 seconds. That may be specific to the 1,100 horsepower car. They all have an estimated top speed of over 200 miles an hour and a quarter mile time of about 10.9 seconds. Now, the engine bay features a lot of unique things in here. You'll notice the air filters are actually missing, and that's because they're actually put into that top of the hood there, and they have that beautiful carbon fiber intake, along with these small trunks in the back here. Those little carbon fiber things are actually trunks because there's not a whole lot of storage space in this car. As you saw looking at the interior there's actually no real back seat or back storage, so you have that, and then a really, really small trunk in the front. You can see the air filters I was talking about there, and then those are the actual intakes that kind of go behind those little vents there, which is pretty cool, pretty ahead of its time in terms of design language, but pretty interesting. You can see even in the underside in the engine bay, there's still a lot of gloss carbon work, which I think is really pretty. I'm surprised it doesn't get damaged or anything by the heat coming from the engine in there, but a pretty cool car nonetheless. You can even see that license plate there says 2 of 7. So again, they built 7 initially, but I believe one's been destroyed, and then of course 6 remain, this being one of them, which this car I believe was actually getting towed around to various things. You can see the gauges, some of the other custom components, a gated shifter, lots of really cool driver-focused features in here. It's a shame that this car didn't kind of get promoted more and pushed around to see some of the cool components, especially a Lingenfelter LS engine. That's a pretty cool feature and a lot of horsepower for what's an American mid-engine car. A very cool car nonetheless. If you guys enjoyed this video, can hit that like button for me. I really appreciate it, and get subscribed for more content like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching.